A reporter just confronted Donald Trump to his face about his new nickname, and, well, needless to say, he didn't take it well. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. And happy Taco Wednesday. But wait, you say, isn't it usually Taco Tuesday? Well, yes it is, but trust me, after this story, you'll be craving tacos. Also, what's wrong with having a big pitcher of margaritas any night of the week? So let's get to it. Donald Trump, of course, has earned many nicknames over the years. Don the Con, the bankrupt billionaire, the liar-in-chief, Vladimir Putin's sword swallower. Yet, while all of these are accurate nicknames, they never seem to quite do the odious man justice. Now add to that, the Taco Man. Why? Well, to understand this, let's catch up on the status of Trump's trade war.
It's another tariff reversal from President Trump, announcing his 50% tariff on the EU will be delayed by a month from June 1st to July 9th, after his phone call with the European Commission president, whom he says asked him for an extension.
I agreed to do that, and that she said we will rapidly get together and see if we can work something out.
The announcement coming just 2 days after President Trump threatened that new import tax. The president also taking aim at Apple, threatening to impose a 25% tariff on iPhones, urging the company to shift production to the U.S. Analysts say U.S.-made iPhones could cost $1,500 to $3,500, far higher than current prices, and moving production to this country would take years. And the president acknowledging Sunday that even his most punishing tariffs won't bring back all types of manufacturing once done in the U.S.
I'm not looking to make T-shirts, to be honest. I'm not looking to make socks. We can do that very well at other locations. We are looking to do chips and computers and lots of other things.
The president rounds out his Memorial Day weekend with a visit and a wreath laying at Arlington National Cemetery later this morning. He just posted that he will also be making a speech at 11 a.m. and then he spends the rest of the afternoon at his golf course in Virginia. Jonathan?
Still with me here? The yo-yo effect of Trump's tariff stupidity continues. Tariffs are on, then they're off, then they're higher, then they're paused. The pause on EU tariffs is just the latest in this ongoing cycle. Trump did the same with tariffs on Chinese goods, as well as certain goods from Mexico and Canada. And the stock market, amid all the chaos, is ballooning and shrinking to boot. For the record, it's still about 3,000 points lower than when Trump took office, so any recent gains are actually not something to really celebrate. The trade war has only created market volatility. It's also created public volatility as Americans all over the political spectrum tire of the whiplash of the taxes being on, off, paused, or undetermined. Trump's waffling on the issue has earned him a new nickname, Taco Trump. That's an abbreviation for Trump always chickens out. You get it? Good. This morning, following the swearing-in of Fox News-lush Jeanine Pirro as a U.S. attorney, Trump fielded questions from reporters when one brought up his new taco nickname. Needless to say, he did not take it well.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country, and because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till July 9. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And we have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out? Because we have $14 trillion now invested, committed to investing when Biden didn't have practically anything. This country was dying. You know, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. I went to Saudi Arabia. The king told me, he said, we have the hottest country in the world right now. 6 months ago, this country was stone cold dead. We had a dead country. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that. It's called negotiation. You set a number. And if you go down, if I set a number at a ridiculous high number and I go down a little bit, they want me to hold that number, 145% tariff. Even I said, man, that really got up. You know how it got? because of fentanyl and many other things, and you added it up. I said, where are we now? We're at 145%. I said, whoa, that's high. That's high. They were doing no business whatsoever, and they were having a lot of problems. We were very nice to China. I don't know if they're going to be nice to us, but we were very nice to China. And in many ways, I think we really helped China tremendously because, you know, they were having great difficulty because we were basically going cold turkey with China. We were doing no business because of the tariff, because it was so high. But I knew that. But don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question. Go ahead. To me, that's the nastiest question. Wait a minute. Wait. Go ahead, please.
So, is anyone else craving some chips and queso right about now? Isn't the taco nickname so appropriate for a man that called Mexican immigrants murderers and rapists? And can we call that weird and meandering nonsensical answer he gave the taco word salad? Okay, enough with the taco jokes. Trump is very obviously rattled here, not just because living in a sycophantic bubble kept him from knowing anything about his new nickname. The fact of the matter is, he knows he has no strategy, no idea what he's doing. And he can't stand that the public is calling him on that. But even more relevant, however, is the chicken label. Trump's niece, Dr. Mary Trump, has written and spoken at length about Donald's father, Fred Trump, and how he instilled in his family showing fear or sadness of any kind of emotional vulnerability will be seen as weakness. And strong people cannot show weakness. This principle is at the core of every decision Donald Trump makes, every word that he utters. No wonder he snaps at the reporter saying, "Never say that again." But reporters, and more importantly, the American people, will continue to say it. Donald Trump is chicken. He can't take a real fight, he can't develop a real strategy, and he is looking weaker and weaker by the day. Republicans in Congress might still rally to the man, but given that his atrocious budget bill has stalled in the Senate, that courts are blocking his DOJ and immigration efforts, and most important of all, that public sentiment has turned against Trump, don't count on the GOP to protect him forever. The truth is, Trump is the captain of a ship without a navigator, a boat adrift in icy waters. And Republicans might not yet admit that publicly, but it is sinking, and it's sinking fast. Call it the Taco Titanic. Let's see who jumps ship first before Trump falls and takes the entire Washington establishment with him. Democrats, stand by with lifeboats, and don't be afraid to charge admission. This is Occupy Democrats.